3 or 4, somewhere in those, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, do we require any type of action for the road closure, or is that between him and the street
No,
department? Fire
that's
department?
in good term. Usually, like, this, in all the years before,
Sure.
we usually just bring them, forward, if they're wanting to do this, to advertise the event for the community, because, a lot of people, get it out of the paper or off of Seco News and that. And it's just a great way to do it, especially since we've got a lot of the media outlets
To
here.
promote it, I understand.
So,
Excellent.
yeah, so, thank you. Cool.
We don't need a vote or anything. I remember
No,
Mr.
just,
Hollis mentioned something about that before, so I just wanted to cover all my bases.
Right on, thank you very
Sure.
much.
Okay, thank you, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, next is participation for any non-agenda items.
Howdy, can I slip in? I don't mean
Sure,
to.
no, go
Great,
ahead.
okay, good to see you guys. Where
Nice to
you
see
been
you.
all, yeah. Anyhow, anyway, I'm flipping in here, thank you, because I'm with Zeke and these guys. And on behalf of Clean Valley Recycling, we want to work in conjunction with Zeke's art project.
Sure,
And
could
so-
you state your name and your
Yeah,
address?
get on here. I'm Stephen Nielsen, and I represent Clean Valley Recycling, and want to cooperate and work in conjunction with Zeke Yama and his art project. And so this sort of follows. I've been in communication with the city, but anyway, we want to apply for a beer permit, a special event permit, to work in during the art project on the first day. But by no means is this. I mean, this is separate from Zeke's application. But I've been in communication, and so I filled out the paperwork. So, and I'm kind of new at this, to be honest with you. We've had several events at Clean Valley in Swing, but we've been approached by several entities recently. We're a nonprofit. We plan to recycle at the event. That's one thing. We recycle at early Settlers Day, but we don't charge for that. So we're going to put out our bins, do recycling there. And so I'm here to apply for a special event permit to serve beer at the art project on the first day between 2 and 8 in a 6-hour window. And I don't know, I don't know if I should have communicated previously, but anyway, so we have security secured. I have a contract, an unsigned contract with J&M and the rest of the paperwork.
So, Melanie, are you aware of this one?
He's kindly gotten all the information, and why he's here is because you also need a letter from the owner allowing the alcohol to be there, and it being the closed off street, that would be the city.
Oh,
And so Debbie,
okay.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I didn't know why you were here.
that's why I'm here. So Debbie communicated with me that Melanie would be here. I could turn my paperwork in, to her. And there's a place here where you had to get the landowner permission. And she said, well, if you have the sketch and the diagrams, and being that it is a city, that it might be appropriate actually to appear. And now that anyway.
So Dean, here's this body that would vote for the special events license, signing that.
I think the way it needs to run, this is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think the way it needs to run is Mr. Klein gives his permission for the use of whatever portion of the alley, and then it goes through our normal process of review, and we'll consider it at the September 19th meeting.
That sounds good. So I'll go ahead and submit my paperwork.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, don't leave, Steve.
What?
No.
No?
Okay. Well, you can holler at me. Everyone else does.
There you go.
Everyone else does.
Okay.
I'll submit that to Melanie.
Yeah, but don't I have to sign it? As owner?
No.
No. Okay, cool.
Just pass that down. Okay, do we have any other citizens for citizen participation?
Oh, I handed them out. I got it. They gave me copies.
Oh,
So, I got them all out.
okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, we're just here to update you a little bit on
since, last time Patty was here, which I believe was the 15th of August.
I'm sorry, I know who you are, and I hate to interrupt, but for
Oh,
record
I'm
purposes,
sorry.
the address, please.
Patty Shaw, 1208 Mullins Lane.
And Doris Stumkey, 1312 Adams,
Thank you.
Lahana Animal Rescue. Patty will give numbers, and the money,
Well, kind of.
we, kind of, yeah, well, yeah, kind of. We just wanted to know, make sure that everybody had this. We're still working. We don't work real loud, we don't make a lot of noise, we hope. But we're
We
still
can't.
out there, we're still working, we're still spending lots of money.
Since the
And-
last time we put it, we've used about $2,000. More.
Yeah.
So in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, actually I haven't done anything this week since Thursday because I got sick. But, so about $2,000 since the last time I was here, that we've done more in the city. So, in good faith, definitely hoping that you guys support this with the, so we can get the clinic. I did talk to Kristen, they're willing to give us 5 days instead of 3. So that will help the citizens of Lahana get their cats and dogs spay neutered at a lower price. If we would come up with more money, we could do more feral cats. They said they can work with it either way, however we needed to go.
And it's very low cost and it's for any citizen of Lahana. Dogs, cats, and they get fixed. Any medical issue addressed. All of their shots appropriate for whether it's cat or dog, and microchipped. Now they don't microchip the feral ones, but they tip the ear for easy identification. So that it's like, oh, yeah, that one's fixed, you know. And you know, it's also vaccinated.
And then Bergen's, Christian's, communication numbers are there, their email and their phone number,
Yeah,
if you need to
anybody
get
has
hold of her.
questions or, you know, further.
She did tell me when I contacted her that she needs money in September,
Half of it.
half of it, and then the other half is at the end of the clinic. We do need to get the armory set up if we're going to do it that second week in November. That's what week she has us plotted in. Tentatively, unless we don't get the money. If we don't get the money, then we don't get them. Because we don't have the money, we're almost out.
Yeah, we've blown through just about everything we have.
And when were you looking at bringing them in?
The second week of November, Monday through Friday.
Couple of questions if I could.
Sure.
If it's gonna be conducted at the armory, does that mean at 6 o'clock in the morning on that morning, you run around and try to catch feral cats?
No,
Or are
the
we
day
gonna be
before.
storing cats?
The night or the day before.
Right.
Probably storing. I mean, we'll be responsible for cleaning up and all that jazz, so it's not like that's gonna have
Question
to
is, how are
happen.
you gonna get the cats to the armory?
Oh, trap them,
Trap them and transport them.
trap them. They're going to bring traps and what traps we have, and it will have a team of people. And it says, you know, they will train us, which we pretty well know. We're gonna trap and you take them in and then they get
But
fixed
you're
and
gonna
those
trap
traps
them
go
on
right
that
back out.
day? That's
Night
my
before.
question.
The night before.
The night before.
Or the day before.
All right,
yeah.
Now,
We might trap some that day though. We
she's
have before.
asking for a fixed fee to do X number of dogs and X number of cats.
No, this is all feral cats.
Which,
Just cats.
how about I go over it all and then you see where the question might be, because they'll do dogs and then, they have a supporter, donor that gives a portion of the dogs. So the people would pay for $55 for their dog and then the donor donates the $45. So that's all the dogs. The cats is somewhat similar, but they won't cover the full price. We'd have to up the fee for the cats because they don't have a huge donor to do that. So if we did like 55 or 65 for cats, then they would cover the other part. For the feral cats, that's the 10,400, and that would cover 130 animals.
And what happens if there's only 93?
Then
I
that's,
don't think that's ever happened. I think they usually turn people away.
I'm talking about feral cats.
then I would guess that we would not have to pay the full price.
Yeah, and that would be at the end.
Because it's 80 times how many ever animals, so if it's 80 times 93, it's gonna be $8,000.
Yeah, but you're asking, This lady is asking for it in advance, correct?
Half now,
Half now.
And then half at the
other
end.
half, yeah, at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it says somewhere in here, doesn't it?
no, she just told me that on the phone when we talked.
Oh, okay.
I trust there'll be a
Yes,
I trust there'll be a contract.
I think
Yes.
so, they
I-
work with a lot of cities in Colorado. Some even on the western slope, I know they did Delta and they've done, you know, Crowley and Rocky Ford and,
yeah, I would have to believe there is.
yeah.
I can find that out and let Elaine know, cause I have her phone number, and she can let you guys know.
Or, you know, and if they have questions, they can call too. Her number's, or Kristen's number is here.
Yeah,
And you've been in contact with the mayor as well,
yes,
too?
yes. Yep, just wanted to be there and get everything in line, cause we'd hate to have them come down and we don't have the armory set up or anything. And I don't know how we have to go about doing that.
Just come see me, yeah, so, when you guys need a decision on the 10,000?
They need half
Half
a
of
payment
it.
this month,
This month?
and then the rest at the end after they're done, after they come.
And I gave this to the mayor,
Yeah,
August
he
11th.
has- Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that gonna support all the, cities in Otero County or what?
Predominantly La Junta.
cause what they do is normally open it up just to La Junta citizens with the La Junta residents. And then if they don't fill the slots that we want to allot for dogs or cats, then they'll open it up to the surrounding cities.
But
So
it's
us first.
more than $100 savings per animal. If you have a dog or a cat you're gonna take to a local vet, first you gotta wait a long time to get in. And this covers all the shots. A parvo
So
distemper shot for a dog is $45. That's not counting the spay, that's not counting the rabies shot, that's not counting the microchip. And they get free microchip also.
I
But
talked
there is
to
a charge
Carrie.
For the cats, right?
Sure.
How much?
Well, for pet cats.
For pet cats?
For pet cats,
It's 80.
$80.
No, yes, see, because of the microchip.
Right. Right, and then the feral cats don't get microchip, they do get all of the shots and an ear tip. And all of them, if they have a medical issue, is tended to at the time.
But the dogs, I talked to Carrie and she said a dog in their clinic is 200 to 250 depending on the shots. So you're getting everything that they, and not even the amount of shots
Oh, yeah.
for $55. So,
Okay, so the ask is for $10,000.
yes,
Okay.
and that will cover all the feral side.
And that would require a contract between us and Virgin, Mr. Mala?
Yes.
And we don't have a contract, not remotely close. Okay, so we can't take action on that tonight, I don't believe.
Is it just something that maybe they would write up after they had our approval?
Yeah, because we haven't had to go ahead to do any of that, so we didn't know to do that. I didn't know to do that. No one's told me that.
Mr. Mala, you, for ex post facto after the fact, getting
You
the
could
contract.
authorize the expenditure of X, whatever that number is that you decide, pending approval of the contractual relationship by the city attorney or the city manager.
My thought, if I could add to the conversation, council has some discretionary funds for council training and travel. I know I did not attend this year's, one of this year's meetings that we usually go to CML. I don't know if there's much funds available in our training and travel. I'm thinking that, you know, we might have a little bit of a buffer in our budget. I'm just thinking about those dollars there might be available.
I'm seeing an indication of no from the back of the room.
They've
And
all
budget
been-
will be an amendment.
spent it,
They've all been used.
yeah, you spent your
Microphones?
contingency fund.
Yeah, I'm on mic.
Yeah, we bought microphones.
Oh, out of our council
What
travel
about yours?
and training? Oh, okay.
What about yours?
What's that?
Your,
Oh.
Rick, are you going to check with anybody for grants or?
I did check with Ordway like you guys asked me to, and the lady goes, "There's grants," and I was like,
No, we heard you guys got a grant, and they're like, if you hear one, we'd love one, but they didn't have a grant.
What are most of everybody else's kind of thoughts?
I think if we have a allowance for other cities and towns to participate, you girls ought to tap them also. If they can
But what
raise,
if we don't?
well,
I
we're
mean, if we
taking.
get 130 cats here, we can't ask them for money, and maybe that we will get.
Well,
there.
they have had, you know, Rocky Ford has had, I think, 2 this year, have they not? And Ordway has had at least once. They want it back again, but we would like to work here.
Because there's 130 animals, there's 500 animals in the city.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting them there. I mean, we have it.
Have you done this before?
Years ago.
In 2009, it's part of it.
Do you have any record of it? How many cats you did?
Did 160
160?
in 2 days.
Yeah, and
And
that
how'd
was,
you
we
fund
actually
those?
did it in Rocky Ford. Are you talking?
That was Animal Assistance Foundation out of Denver.
Right. I don't even know if Animal Assistance Foundation, not like they were then, what they,
Kristen said it's not.
yeah, don't even exist anymore. They came down and they did vouchers, they went around with us, they did a lot. And that was way back when. And they, I think, have all dispersed now. Kristen is on her own with a nonprofit and doing the station.
Yeah, and her husband was one of the chief ones of the AAF, so.
Well, my recommendation at this point is I know we have an addendum of the budget. I know this is gonna speak to it briefly, and I wouldn't feel comfortable taking a motion or asking for a motion for any money at this point without being sufficiently advised by our financial department. Now, that's not a no, that's just let us see what our budget looks like, because Elisa's gonna speak on it briefly, okay?
Can we go ahead and have them seek the contract pending the approval by city attorney or city manager?
I think that would be good, just to have a better outline.
I would make a motion that we table this till
Yeah, I'll
next
text her
meeting.
as soon as I sit down to do
Okay,
that.
we do have a motion to table this till the next meeting,
I'll second.
and
Yeah.
a second. Any further discussion?
That's the third week.
I just would like to add that I do know that you guys have been working hard, volunteering, donating all of your time, and, hopefully if we can fund it, that we might have some other people out there who might want to, contribute donations to the cause as well. If at all possible, and please, that's my only other comment.
So when is the next meeting then?
19th. Yes, 19th.
Okay, we do have a motion, a second, we've had discussion, and ask you all to vote to revisit this at the next meeting. And,
Mine's not working.
okay.
Can we get go ahead and allow them to start on the contract pending approval?
I think that'd be appropriate, Mr. Mello.
Sure, if they send one to me, I'll be glad to look at it.
Thank you.
So send it to you? And how does that happen?
Send it to Mr. Klein.
So how does that
And I
happen?
bet you he knows how to get it to me.
Bill, you got one of your cards, cause I'm
Give
out.
it to me and I will hand deliver it to him.
Oh, yeah, give it to him.
There you
Well,
go.
no, I wanna make sure, because they're gonna email it to me, and then I have to forward it to somebody.
All right, well, let me, I want to write mine down. I ran out of cards, I apologize. I just haven't got new ones.
So, just so I have this right, so you guys meet again the 19th and talk about it. So will that be the day of yay or nay, because then we would be cutting it close of,
Yes,
Otherwise, we're looking for next year.
yes.
Hundreds and hundreds more animals, both owned and unowned.
Thanks, Paul.
Who do we direct questions to from your group? Council can do that.
What do you mean?
If I have a
Like talking to
question,
me or
Yeah.
talking to Doris? Either one of us?
Yeah, either one of us.
how?
My phone number is 719-468-1346, and of course I didn't bring any cards either.
Any email? Nobody has email?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
That number will be captured for, on record, right?
I have email.
Yeah, but I'm gonna ask it tomorrow.
Call her number and get the email tomorrow.
That's her number.
Yeah.
She didn't,
She could give you an email.
she didn't have an email.
Well, yeah, I have an email, and
Oh, you
I
do?
don't check it real often. and probably
I'm the
don't
one
either.
that probably would be better at that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again for all your efforts.
We can give you Sarah's email, Sarah.
Well, that's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. I'll give it to you.
Okay, moving on, are there any other citizen participation agenda item, or for non-agenda items? Okay, we'll move into new business, liquor licenses. Application for a special event permit at Inspiration Field, Caitlin Coco will be the event manager. The event is the Lahana High School class of 1982 banquet to be held September 10th, 2022 from 10 a.m. to 11:59 at 612 Adams.
Mr. Mayor, this whole action, there's 5 applications by Inspiration Field. And this goes against a time-honored tradition of making Ms. Caulfield wait until the very end of the meeting before we decide how to handle her requests. But with your permission, I'll just list all 5 of them for you. You'll need to consider them separately, but the answers to all 5 are the same. They are Inspiration Fields requesting a special events permit on September 10th, September 17th, September 23rd, October 29th, and November 5th. In each of those circumstances, the city supervisors indicate compliance with the code. The appropriate posting and fees have been accomplished and paid, and city management recommends approval of all 5 of those applications.
Okay, Ms. Cofield, would you like to speak, or?
If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
I'll make a motion, can I?
Sure, as to
Separate.
A1,
Yes.
okay, I need a motion.
Is it okay if I just state the dates for each one?
Well, let's do one at a time, we'll do them individually.
Okay.
So, a motion for A1,
I'll make a motion.
you have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Ask you to vote.
I'll be abstaining.
Are you a
My
part of class
button's
of,
not working. Our new
She's on the
equipment is not
Inspiration
working
Field.
quite right.
Are you going to abstain from all the votes?
I will abstain for all of the Inspiration Field ones, yes.
To A2,
I'll make a motion.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? I'll ask you all to vote. And that passes with Ms. McIntyre abstaining. To A3,
I'll make a motion.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Having no discussion, I'll ask you all to vote. That passes with one person abstaining, Ms. McIntyre. A4,
I'll make a motion.
we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second, do we have any further discussion? Then I'll ask you to vote. Again, that passes, one member abstaining. And last but not least, A5.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion,
Second.
we have a motion and a second, any further discussion? I'll ask you all to please vote. That passes, one member abstaining. Thank you.
want you thinking this is gonna be a habit, that we don't make you wait till the very end, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Okay, keeping on with new business, moving on to application of report change of manager for the Yak and Yeti Hotel Incorporated, doing business as Yak and Yeti at 1326 East 3rd Street. City Attorney?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, this is somewhat unusual for this council to experience this request, but it is simply to break it down in the most simple terms, it's a notification that the manager, not the holder of the license, simply the premises manager has changed for a current license holder. They pay a small fee to the state. This gives us, for our purposes and our records, who the contact person would be. We would recommend favorable consideration of this request.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to accept the management change for Yak and Yeti Hotel.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ask y'all to please vote.
Yes.
And we have unanimous with one verbal yes. Continuing with new business, a resolution authorizing the sale of real property, Ruby's Auto Inc. Mr. Attorney?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, we can't hold a good man down, and Mr. Jackson seems intent on selling all of the surplus city property that, Mr. Klein? Okay, well, they both seem to be intent on getting rid of city surplus property, which sounds like a good idea. This resolution is requesting authorization to sell real property located at 3rd and Bellevue. If you recall, that's a rather large structured house and some attached buildings that were owned at one time by Larry Holbrook. They were condemned and torn down. It's now a vacant lot, and Ruby's Auto Body Shop seeks to purchase it for $22,000. I'm led to believe there was a bid that was left on that, and this was the highest bid.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you know what are they gonna just do a lot?
Yeah, they'll store all the cars over there. Currently, they're using part of a public lot and renting a lot right there on the corner. I'm not sure who they rent that from, but this way they can contain everything and get it in
And they'll make it a lot?
Yes,
So
and
it'll probably be
keep everybody's vehicles safe as they're
Okay.
Also, I had noticed that there was like a camper parked there.
Yes,
For
that will be
some time?
removed.
Okay.
Yeah, and the gentleman does know.
I know it's off street.
Yeah.
But it was. on
How
city
about the
property.
weeds?
Yeah, and they'll be taking care of the weeds themselves. Absolutely. Thanks for
What's the appraised value on it, Rick, or did you guys get it?
No, once it was demoed, we didn't get one. The old assessor deal, when Larry's house was on there, it added like $1,000, but we got a lot more than that. I think the other bid that came in was right about 7,000. So it was, yeah. That's good. We appreciate it, John.
They need the space.
They need the space.
Well, it'd be nice to not have some of that street coming up San Juan and 3rd Street. It obstructs some of the views, so it'll be
Yes.
good if they are able to keep those vehicles on the lot.
It definitely will make their business run better.
So I would make a motion to accept the sale of the property of, what is the address?
Yeah. 3rd and Bellevue.
3rd and Bellevue. Okay.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'd ask you all to please vote.
Yes.
Unanimous and one verbal. Okay, we do have a vacancy on the Board of Utility Commissioners. Mr. Vela is relinquishing his council assignment to the Utility Board immediately, which would count this effective 9/2 of 2022. If the council is not prepared to move forward with a nomination for replacement for Mr. Vela, I'll need a motion to table until the next city council meeting.
I motion to table that to the next council meeting on September 19th.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I would second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I want to be sure the motion is probably complete for purposes of the record. I presume that council is willing to accept the resignation, so the motion should be to fill the vacancy created on the Board of Utility Commissioners. I think that's what you're going to be doing next, at the next meeting.
So do we first need to accept the resignation first? Is that what you're saying?
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the,
So I can.
Let's do it this way.
Remove
Withdraw
my
your
second.
motion. Lisa, did you make the motion?
Withdraw.
Who made it? Chandra?
Chandra.
Withdraw your motion. Make a new motion to accept the resignation. Let's get that out of the way. And then to fill the vacancy at the next meeting. It'll be two separate motions.
I withdraw my motion.
I'll make a motion to approve or to accept his resignation,
It's not a resignation, it's a relinquishment.
a relinquishment.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on accepting Mr. Vela's relinquishing of his council assignment to the utility board? I'll ask you all to please vote.
Yes.
We have unanimous yes and one verbal yes from Ms. McIntyre. Thank you for your service, Mr. Vela.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now I need a motion to fill the vacancy on the utility board at the next city council meeting.
We have a point of order, Mayor Pro Tem, is that they have a meeting next Monday. So somebody will have to be there from the council. Otherwise, it'll be 4 people voting. And we have a crucial issue that we're talking with the Arkansas Valley conduit.
Oh, I hadn't seen the agenda out yet.
Pardon?
I hadn't seen the agenda out yet.
Well, I'm just saying that, I didn't say it was the agenda, you did. I'm just saying that it's part and parcel of a major decision. So, based on that, I would nominate you for that.
You.
Who's you?
Elaine.
Well, I'm on quite a few. I'm already on the hospital board and that keeps me quite busy. I do come to the utility board meetings, and I appreciate that. I do know we've got an election, and we have several other council members that might possibly be interested in it as well. Do we need to have a representative at the next?
City
Well, I'd like
attorney.
to, I wanna go ahead and nominate someone, and then if it dies, it dies.
But Mr. Meliff,
Let's really back up here so that we get things done correctly. The motion to accept the relinquishment position has been accepted and passed, so now there's a vacancy. Historically speaking, we have always solicited input from the body that is having the member appointed, and again, this is not an elected position, this will be an appointed position. But we haven't heard from the utility board as to whether they have any recommendations or not. It doesn't mean you have to have their recommendation, it simply means that that's been what we have done in the past. The motion that I understand to be on the table now is a motion to table filling the appointment until the next meeting. Now, I don't remember, it could have been seconded. Melanie, was it seconded? Okay, so it's just a motion at this point. If you've changed your mind, you can withdraw the motion and start over again. But I think we need to be mindful of Robert's Rules of Order, so We've got a motion that's been made. If it dies for lack of a second, or if you withdraw it, then we can consider some other motion, okay?
Okay.
So what is the motion out there?
As I understood it, it was to table the matter.
Okay, well, I'll second that.
So we have a motion to table the matter until the next meeting and a second, correct? Any further discussion? Okay, I'll ask you all to vote, please.
Yes, to table.
And that passes.
I think what Ed was stating too is that there's a meeting before the 19th and they may not have a quorum, so if someone on council could attend that meeting, so council is represented.
No.
I don't, Melanie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if there's an action item on it.
No.
No?
No.
Gary?
No.
There ain't no action item on, utility board, is there?
The agenda hasn't been published to my knowledge.
Yeah.
But, I don't think there's any significant decisions. And just to correct you, it's Tuesday rather than Monday for the meeting. But it would be wise to have somebody there to hear what's going on in the conduit's a big thing.
Thank you, Ed, I appreciate that.
If not you, I was gonna recommend the mayor pro tem.
I usually attend utility board meeting, which I will probably be there next Tuesday anyway. Thank you.
We do have one addendum to tonight's agenda, and that would be the budget. I know Alyssa has been sitting patiently in the back. If you'll step up, whatever information that you were going to present, please.
And I should correct myself, I looked at my email, the agenda was sent out this afternoon, I just haven't seen it, so there may be an item on that, I'm not aware.
Thank you.
I don't think they're on. I didn't see it.
I didn't give you the right one, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is 2023's proposed budget.
2023 proposed budget, can you believe it already?
Wow.
Just seems like we finished an audit, doesn't it? Okay, so tonight, we did. Tonight, I'm just gonna go over what the budget is. A lot of you are new, so the municipal code states that the city manager will present a budget to council. And there's time frames in there and everything, so we presented today. I'm just gonna go over what each of the sections is. We're not gonna talk about any numbers, we're not gonna talk about changes or anything like that. So as you look at the budget, the first thing I wanna say is, wow, look at that cover, isn't that sweet? We wanted to promote the tarantula, and yes, it works if you play with your phone. So the first page is your table of contents. And then you go right into section 1. And section 1, page 1, summarizes all of the funds that we have. You'll notice urban renewal is highlighted yellow. They have not completed their budget yet. They have plenty of time. They are not, we put theirs in for them as a cost saving. So they actually have until October, and I wasn't available at the last meeting to go over all of their budget numbers with them. So we're gonna do that on Thursday, which is why it's highlighted, because that may or may not be. Then when you go to the next page, you'll see that I have graphed out the major funds and the minor funds, not all of them, but most of them. And then as you go through, you will see that we have graphed 5 years for our payroll, operating, and capital outlay. And then on this side, I've discussed the fund balance and the cash change in each of the funds. Then if you go to section 2, This one is all about the general fund. It talks about all of the different all of the different departments, how much the revenues and expenditures comparison, and then it breaks it out just like your financial. When I give you the summarized one where we give you each department, and then over here I give it to you as a whole, okay? Section 3 does the same thing for all of the enterprise funds. Section 4 is our capital outlay for this coming 23 year. And then section 5 is the wish list. 5-year capital outlay plans that we need, wish we could do, want to do, all of it based on conversations at council, conversations at other board meetings, things that the community has said. That's where we figure out what we want to do. And then in the back is every single line item. And yes, you can have fun and go through and change them if you want. We'd love to hear from you. So with that, the municipal code also states that we have a work session, and that's usually when I present the budget in a slideshow presentation with Rick, and we go over all of the funds and all of the numbers with everybody. And so I just need a date.
So what Monday is okay if Melanie sends out a doodle poll to city council to see when everybody's available
Will this
for
be like a
budget
working-
presentation?
A working meeting?
Yes.
Yes,
I wait for a doodle poll.
Yes.
Anyway,
unless you need a specific by date.
Do you want
We got time.
Monday'd be great.
It's always a good one, yeah.
I'll have a, Mel, can you, I don't know how to do it, can you do that, Mel? Thanks. So, that's the budget for 2023, and we'll talk about it at the work session.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Elisa.
Yeah.
You know,
Did I make my 5 minutes, Mel?
You did.
Okay, committee board reports. Any committee board reports?
The planning commission met, I can't remember the date now, but, we're still, deep in the process of, looking over the annexations and revising things, so not much to update there, but it was a lot of work.
A long, arduous process. Anybody else have a committee or board report?
Hospital board, you guys all got the information? Everybody get the information? Email?
Yes.
Okay, okay. If anybody has any questions, God answered it.
No, and it was nice to have Andy Flemmer here.
Yes, yes. He's been working on a lot of good things at the hospital, and, so, yeah, hopefully we'll have more information to share.
Gary, can you give us a short status of the conduit coming through? We had a work session. Would you like to comment on that?
I believe that the committee or board reports are for council members to go forward with that.
Well, since I can't.
Rick was present. Give us a quick rundown.
We met with the utility board on the conduit. The conduit has a lot of moving parts, you know, and we can talk about, you know, price. It comes down to price. And the prices that are out there right now, most everybody can't do. And we've got to figure out ways, you know, to get the cost lowered. And they're working on that with some grants through the feds and stuff like that. But we got to start nailing some of this down. And you know, because someday they're going to be coming here within probably a year and a half, and ask us for a decision. Now we're checking out things like you know, the pumping. Right, you know, does it reduce our pumping costs, you know, to bring in the water, you know, which it would, you know, because it's coming in through a pipeline, half of it. You know, we'd still be using our reverse osmosis plant for half the year. But, you know, another positive is, you know, like, you know, there's a transit loss in water, you know, when you put it in the river, you know, through evaporation and infiltration. And that turns out to be about 20% of the water. So, you know, we're checking that portions out. But we got to have cost reductions to offset the cost increase. And we got to get these unknowns taken care of. Now, one of the things that we are finding out that is, that, well, everybody, I think it's from probably worldwide, is this PFAS issue. And if you didn't see or know what PFAS is, just Google your for PFAS CBS Sunday Morning, and they did a segment on it. And they're thinking it's made its way all the way through the hydrological cycle. They're finding that up on top of mountains. And PFAS is in everything. You know, we've been dealing with it since the 50s. Teflon, you know, your eggs don't stick. Rain gear, you know, the water repels off and stuff. Those are all made with PFAS. And that's a forever chemical. They don't break down, they don't do nothing. And they're getting into the water supplies and stuff. Fort Carson, Petefield, and the military, they were using it up above, and it's gotten into Fountain Creek. Now, Fountain, they got a problem. You know, they're trying to get the government to do something, but it's making its way down through the valley.
All right, thank you. I guess that's a good segue into your city manager's comments.
That's right. Yes. So, you know, there's a lot of moving parts out there, folks, that we gotta check out. But we will check them out. All right, we got our new fire trucks, everybody. You know, if you haven't seen it, wow. Now, we're storing it at the armory right now because it doesn't have no equipment in it. So you don't want to, you know, we can't put it out on fire, so we keep everything that's ready to go for a fire here. But they're getting it, they'll be getting equipment on it and stuff, and we're getting a lot of interest on our truck. Now, why? You know, we bought our truck for $894,000. And if we would have hit that a couple of weeks afterwards, that would be a $1.25 million truck, and you ain't gonna get it but for probably in 2 years. I think it's 26 months out now. We lucked out. We got ours in a year, and we got ours for a lot less. You know, but that's just some of the things that we've been running into. The 50-50 tree removal program, we got about 50 applicants, so you don't see a lot of activity come off on the trees, which, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Man, that was very important to get done. We're still in stage 1 water restrictions. That just means don't water between 10 and 6. You know, that should be the way we do life. We have footballs going, and just like the rest of America, I don't know if you've seen any segments on helmets, but nobody can find helmets, and when you do, you know, they're, we looked at, I think we found some for $283, where we've been paying a little bit over $100. But most of them are going right now for $300 to $1,000 across the nation, if you can find them. Yeah. We found some, by the time we called back, they had only half their stock left. Blew our minds, yeah. Okay, mowing weeds and grass. Boy, those weeds got big old stalks on them right now. So, you know, let's get them out. Should be the last time. You know, we're struggling to get ours out too, you know, but we just need to keep working and make the town look good. Hopefully before early summer. Not make sure it's by the Tarantula crossings or the art walk. Yeah. We started placing street signs, new stripes West 10th Street from Colorado West. I don't know if you guys have been noticing. You can really see them at night. I can see why they went to them now that we got them. You know, because they changed the standard on them, but you can see them from like a block away, which really makes it nice. We're still in stage 1 fire restrictions. You don't start a fire, go see the fire chief now. You know, turn on your TV if you wonder why we're still in stage 1 fire restrictions. There's so many fires across this nation and stuff. We don't need to add on to it. Okay, asphalt work is done. The chip seal will be coming in tomorrow.
So, I think they're gonna start off at, Santa Fe and, 14th, work their way up to 18th and do 18th from Santa Fe over to, Colorado, and then they'll switch over to, Raton, I believe. The rural fire building, that's going good. I don't know if you guys, ever look at it, got trimmed with red, they put the new garage doors on it, and I saw them shut, and they're red. It just looks like a real cool building. I wish they're gonna be done in sometime in October. I wish they'd be done now, cause, you know, we're gonna, fire department will be hosting, all the fire departments on, Fire in the Plains, later this month, but it won't be. You know, we were kinda hoping, but, you know, but, it'll give them something to look at and, show them what we're up to. 12th and Street and Topeka, right there, by 12th, got, repaved, and it really looks good. It really helped out the drainage in that area and stuff. Even got, Norma Adler, thank you for your, thank you note. We all appreciate those. You know, we sorry it took so long, but that's life in America right now. And, hopefully tomorrow, you know, see, Elegant Concrete out there working on the park. We got the last of the base in, and he's gonna flip it down and then, hopefully pave next week. So, with that, I'll put the questions. Oh, last but not least, I don't know if any of you guys went last weekend to, Ben's Fort, but they did 1847. Now, you know, they usually do 1841, 1843, when the fort was going real good and it was all happy times and stuff. This is when, George Bent had, been killed down there in, New Mexico, when they wanted to be the territorial governor of, New Mexico, and he got caught up in the Taos Revolt. And, then, one of the other brothers, died, and, it was about the end of, how Bent's Fort was. And I'll tell you what, I thought that was such a great program. Whoever, they had this guy named Jake, and, he corrected me on a few of the things that, I thought I had my history down on Ben's Fort. This guy was just a plethora of knowledge, man. It was so good. So, if you, didn't go out to Ben's Fort this weekend, you missed a great event, great event. And, they had over 40, reenactors, and every one of these were just top notch. Just loved it. So, thank you.
Big, thanks, Rick. Okay, governing body comments.
I just had a question for Rick. The process on or has there been any response to the old Gibson's building? I know
So, he was gonna sell it at, the auction, but now I can't find where they sold it. But Dean and I have been going back and forth with the owners. But, he says he's trying to sell it.
What about there were some issues with that building?
Yes, he's aware of it and stuff, and, he was going to, try to do something with the building, and asked us, the time to let him put it on that auction, but that was the last I heard.
We gave him a deadline. There's a possibility of a private sale, also pending. We'll see what happens, but we gave him a deadline. It's a couple weeks from now, actually about 4. But we'll see what he does between now and then.
You got a question for Rick, Mr. Bell?
Doesn't our effort just extend to the new buyers, Dean?
If somebody bought the building, they'd still have to fix it.
Okay.
That doesn't clean anything by it being sold. This current owner wanted a very high price for it, and the cost to fix it is very high. And so the short answer is buyer beware, and buyer's gonna have to fix it.
Good. Rick, how much would it cost to, do what the state did on the highway in town, to do that on 3rd Street? Do you know?
You mean, Storysuit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, they did good.
Yeah, it looks good now, yeah. Not a big fan of spray seal. I'm really, wanting to see how long it lasts myself, you know, but, hopefully they come a long ways with it.
It looks good though.
But it does look good.
Any other governing body comments?
I have one. we had sent out a request, Roberta Mendoza had asked if any of the council members would be willing to help serve the senior lunch, this year, and I know I'm gonna be there.
I'll be there.
Is that noon?
It's gonna be at noon, yes,
Okay.
and
So
it's
you
gonna
won't
be at the park.
Mhm.
Now, they're doing a lot of things across the way. They're doing some stuff at Santa Fe Plaza, and they're doing some stuff at the city park. And Yak and Yeti is gonna be serving the senior lunch, so.
So who is definitely gonna help? I'm on the Early Settlers Day Committee.
I'm gonna help, Roberta's gonna help.
I'll be there.
Paul.
And Betty will be there as well.
Okay.
I'll help if Julie Worley helps.
I'm gonna be somewhere else, I think.
Are you gonna help
In the
Ed?
park.
You will, Damon? Okay. Ed?
Yeah, pencil me in.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, I appreciate it.
I am intrigued, Rick, what do you have there?
Okay, yeah, well, I'd be amiss, but we had a kid, DJ
Oh, wow.
Romero, that caught this big fish out of City Park. And, Mariola sent me the picture of him, and, this is such great. You know, look at the smile on him. You don't think that was special?
How
That
much
was-
did that catfish weigh?
Ooh, I do not know.
Good job,
And
kid.
then I just had one more thing, a reminder that Early Settlers Day is this Saturday, September 10th, and the parade starts at 10, and like Paul said, we have a lot of events going on, and it should be a good, fun-filled day. And if anyone wants to help clean up on Sunday, please volunteer. And that's it.
All right. Any other comments? All right. I know school's back in session. I'd like to welcome back all the students that are going to Otero College. Find our community welcoming, and realize that you bring something to us, and hopefully you take something good away from us during your educational experience here.
Mayor.
Dan, go ahead, Mr. Bell.
Yeah, I wanna wish you guys, Godspeed and goodwill and all that stuff for your, emergency policing unit. I was watching some of that on Seco News, and I heard your name. That's where the, response team is what it is.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that's actually the local law enforcement is establishing protocol, or just keeping with protocol for, I guess we could say something that if an active shooter occurred, it'd be everything from reconciliation with kids and their parents or guardians, and bringing the matter to a quick and close. So that's Mr. Quick, that's Chief Quick, in conjunction with other area law enforcement and a multitude of agencies that were represented there, to even include media having a very active role in these things. It's hopefully we never have to have that day in Lahana, but it's better to be prepared than be caught on your heels if something like that, if that gravity ever happens. So thank you for bringing that up.
Sure.
I guess with that, go ahead.
I had one more thing I had on my note here. A couple of constituents had asked me about homeless people being underneath the bridge on the way into town on the east side. And I know that that's railroad
That
property,
is a
but
BNSF property that guy, gentleman's on.
is there any way to
They gotta
reach
call us.
out to BNSF? I know the constituent said that somebody was voiding, and they saw the person urinating, and you know that's tough when you might have kids in the car or something and you're seeing this. So if there's any way that we can try and not have that be seen.
Just contact their police. They have their own police department.
Okay, I sure will. Who's calling?
I'm sure it is, yeah. See something.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Rick, if you'll get that number, make it available to the public, that way they can call directly.
Okay.
Anybody else? Thank you. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting.
For Lahana City Council, I'm Adrian Hart with your Southeast Colorado News on seconews.org.